Hello, this is Mark from Productive Computing and Productive Computing University. You are about to watch a selected JSON lesson from our free course called JSON Fundamentals for FileMaker Developers. Knowing how to create, parse, and manipulate JSON is essential in order to integrate FileMaker with the world of APIs, Claris Connect, artificial intelligence, and more. In this complete course, we'll cover everything you need to know about JSON from the perspective of a Claris FileMaker Pro developer. We're making this course available for free because we feel it's an important and essential building block for you to understand in order to advance your skills to the next level. And once you learn how to manipulate JSON formatted text, you are that much closer to accomplishing your first API integration in your own FileMaker apps. And like all our other courses at Productive Computing University, this course comes complete with downloadable FileMaker files for you to use and follow along with. These downloadable files are available directly in selected lessons inside the course. There's a link in the description to enroll in this free course called JSON Fundamentals for FileMaker Developers at productivecomputinguniversity.com. Okay, now let's dive into the lesson. In this lesson, we analyze how we can parse JSON if the JSON key has a period in the name. So here's our first key, global quote, and then within that key we have the entire JSON object here. And then within this object, we have the first key, which is O1 dot space symbol O2 dot space open. And this is JSON that has been returned by trying to get a simple stock quote from, let's say, Apple Computer. AAPL is Apple Computer, and we're trying to get all the information on that particular ticker. However, the key has a period in it. So how do we parse that? So I'll copy this to my clipboard here, and we'll paste it into a FileMaker file, like so. Now we have this JSON in a simple text field, and we can parse it with our DataViewer. So I'll go to DataViewer, and we'll take a look at this. So I'll create a new expression, and what we want to do is we just want to call up the JSON, and we'll get the element. And what do we want to look at? We want to look at the JSON field. Now, without doing much, I'll just put two quotes here so we can confirm there's our JSON. So the function sees the JSON. Now, if I put my first key in here, global quote, we do in fact get the object that that key contains, which is another JSON object. And normally what we would do to parse this is we'd simply go to the next key by putting a period here. That would identify that we want to go one layer deeper. And I would put O1 dot space symbol, and we would see results, but we're not seeing results here because there is a period in the key name, and that is a no-no. When it comes to the parser, it doesn't know how to handle that. It thinks that we've just asked for a key one level deeper, when in fact this is simply the key name. So to get around that, we can use bracket notation. So I will keep the period here on the global quote. So we've captured the first key. Then I'll put an ampersand, and we'll begin to identify the second key, or the key that we're looking at here in this object. And we'll start with a quote and a left bracket. Then a single quote for whatever string I want it to look at as the key name. So O1 dot symbol. Then a single closing quote and a closing bracket. And then, of course, a quote to finish this calc so that it evaluates properly. And sure enough, now I have the ticker symbol. It now realizes that I meant this to be a key name and not a new key. So that's good. Now I can change this, simply put, if I want the price, for example, I can go 05, and then we can change that name here. And that should work as well. There it is. There's the price, $187.000. Let's put a round on here for good measure, and we'll round to 2 decimal places, and there it is, 187 even. So that's how you do it. Bracket notation is what you can use when your key has invalid characters or invalid in the eyes of a FileMaker JSON parser. It's not that this key is necessarily invalid, it's just that the FileMaker JSON parser uses the period to notate when a new key is being introduced. So bracket, single quote, put whatever string you want, then you close the single quote, close the bracket, and you're done. You might find that this bracket notation comes in handy in other areas when you're receiving characters that FileMaker doesn't understand or know how to interpret. So that concludes this lesson on bracket notation and how to handle decimals in your key name. Thanks for joining us on this lesson. To enroll in the free complete course, click on the link in the description or visit productivecomputinguniversity.com, where you'll find both free and paid courses on today's most important topics related to the Claris FileMaker platform.